What's going on, everybody? It's your boy O'Shea Duke Jackson back. Second show of the triple header today. Really appreciate you, brothers, for being here and everything. Thank you guys for joining the stream. And today, this is kind of a Hall of Game. It is a Hall of Game, right? Whenever Gabe is here, you know it's Hall of Game time. And today, we want to talk about something that is very, very important because typically we hear a lot from brothers who are single that come to my platforms. We hear a lot from brothers who are against marriage. And me and Ramil did a show the other day, and he was hinting at the fact that being in long-term relationships or marriage actually makes you less productive. And oh, by the way, who was in the comment section of that stream? The one and only Gabe A, right? Gabriel was there, who disagreed with that. So, and we typically never hear from brothers who are married or in long-term relationships about their experience. So today we will be talking to Brother Gabe A about this. Does marriage make successful black men less productive? What's going on, Brother Gabe?
What's going on? What's going on, man? How's it going?
Doing pretty good. Doing better than the Eagles are doing right now. So, but yeah. So tell people that may not know who you are. And my bad for the ambiguous looking lady in the photo. But tell people, man, about you know, who you are, what you do, things like that.
For sure. So I'm my name is GABE. Education wise, electrical engineer. Transitioned a bit from kind of went into several different industries. Started off in automotive engineering, working with Ford. Transitioned more over into nuclear. Working for a local utility at a nuclear plant. And transitioned over into cybersecurity for nuclear plants, and then kind of made industrial environments like oil and gas, automotive, nuclear, electrical utility. That kind of became my bread and butter for cybersecurity. So now I work as a senior consultant for a large security firm, and I pretty much help these organizations be more protected from external threat actors or hackers, right? And, you know, even with this whole Iranian thing, I was telling O'Shea, I've been pretty much, keeping tabs. My organization's been keeping a lot of tabs on what's been happening. So I've been very busy kind of in that space so far. So yeah, absolutely. So that's who I am. And kind of with the subject of the talk, I am married to a black woman. She's from the US, and I'm not ashamed to say it. I know a lot of brothers in this place, are so anti-marriage, and I'm not. So yeah, that's who I am, and that's what I'm about.
Okay. So let me kind of get kind of build up the storyline here. You grew up in the great city of Detroit.
Yep. Absolutely,
and
blackest place, one of the blackest places in the U.S.
Right, and got into your fair share of fights at the basketball court. From what you've told, from what I've heard on this,
just talk. Talk. Sometimes it get a little rough, but you do that when you're young and you're not really thinking. But yeah, absolutely.
Okay, all right. So we've all done that before. But you're from the inner city. Shout out to Brother Starship Architect. But so then you went to Michigan Tech. So I'm kind of, you did very well in high school, had internships, went to Michigan Tech. Okay. Take me through the environment at Michigan Tech. Who was there?
Absolutely. Oh man, I didn't know he was going there. So Michigan Tech is in the Upper Peninsula of Michigan. For those who don't really understand the geography of Michigan, it's composed of the Lower Peninsula and the Upper Peninsula. A lot of times people just see the whole mitten, right? They think that that's Michigan. There's also a little sliver of a section above Michigan called the Upper Peninsula, which was heavily populated by the Finnish. It's a large Finnish population, which pretty much means that it's not a black place. It's not there aren't people of color up there. It was pretty much the only people that were the people of color that were the people that were going to school up there. So that was a very different environment than that which was in Detroit. I was going from, I went to schools called Macy Jemison Academy. Macy Jemison was, the first African-American female to go into outer space. I went to Malcolm X Academy. That's a whole nother story. Very, very Black centered. Everything was about Black people there. And then I went to Michigan Tech for college, and none of that was in existence in the Upper Peninsula at Michigan Tech. So
Mhm.
very different environments.
Okay, so a lot of Finnish people. That's very interesting. Okay.
Hmm.
Um, shout out to brother Keep It Techie, Starship Architect. Oh, please, O'Shea. You can't chase two rabbits. Yes, marriage makes you less successful, especially if it ends in divorce. All right. Keep It Techie. I've been married for 13 years. Okay. So
Oh,
let's
dope! I
let's
didn't know that.
yeah. Can I
Okay.
notice that a lot of the guys that are in the tech or Dr. Kenyon Meadows, he's married. I know Andre Hatchett is married or was married before.
Hmm.
Or in the past, or maybe still is. I'm not sure, but I know he's definitely done the marriage thing. Let me kind of go back to you graduate with it's electrical engineering, right?
Yep, absolutely.
Okay. Graduate with electrical engineering degree at Michigan Tech. Okay, so now I got to ask the question because you're going around school
Yeah.
with a lot of white people, white women, and things like that.
Hmm.
Um, was there every kind of temptations to get your vanilla on, brother, or
Well, it's very interesting because so Michigan Tech, the most popular majors at Michigan Tech were like the electrical engineering and the mechanical engineering majors.
Mhm.
Um, Typically in engineering, there aren't a lot of women overall. So the
Okay.
ratio of males to females at Michigan Tech, I think when I was there, was like 1 to 6 or 1 to 8. So it was very uncommon to even see women in your classes because a lot of times those women were majoring in something like health sciences, biology, geological sciences. So, I really didn't come in contact with a whole lot of women while I was in school. Now, there were women up there around the Michigan Tech area, but not a lot of women in general. But
Hmm.
when you said that, was there temptation to kind of get my vanilla swirl on? I was so focused, man. I'm telling you, because my major thing in my mind was I don't want to go back to Detroit empty-handed
Right.
because I already seen what the situation was in the city. I had already seen, I wasn't too long after the whole Kwame situation. Kwame killed Patrick, who was the
Oh
mayor of
yeah.
Detroit. So it was like I seen the things that were happening in my city, and I'm like, I don't want to go back empty-handed and in a situation that isn't better than the condition of the city. So I was just really focused. So yeah, there were temptations here and there, but my focus was definitely on finishing and completing my degree program.
Okay. Shout out to Human 2.0, Australian $5. Thank you so much. Let's kind of fast forward then. Post graduation, I know you got a good job. Now you were
Hmm.
working. I think the first stop was back in Detroit. Was that right?
Yep, absolutely. Back in Detroit.
Back in Detroit. You're back in Detroit. You're probably doing. I mean, at the first job, I'm pretty sure you're making more than the average person is making in Detroit.
Yeah, absolutely. Yep.
Okay. So then, and Detroit got nothing but but good looking sisters is out there. Um,
Hmm. Here and there.
how long was it before that you got married?
Let's see. So it was somewhere around 2011, 2012 is when I graduated, and I got married 3 years ago. So
Okay.
do the math, right? That's 2016 or so. So
Mhm.
you know, was that 2 to 16? So about 4 years after I graduated.
4 years as a graduate. So okay.
Yep.
So that's when you got married. Okay.
Yep.
So Uncle Pookie wants to know what high school did you go to?
Yeah, I went to Cass.
You
Yeah, I
went to
went to
Cass.
Cass
Okay.
Tech.
Cass
Yep.
Tech. Okay.
Absolutely.
Thank you, brother Chief Rocka, for the super chat. Now, you 4 years out of college, you're
Hmm.
single.
Yep.
Did you think at that time you would be married?
My goal was to eventually get married. I wasn't trying to get married like immediately,
Hmm.
but I knew that that was the goal that I had in mind. So I was trying to prepare, right? Certain relationships, I'm looking at long-term aspirations. I'm not just looking for something quick, right? I'm not looking for a pump and dump type of thing, as many brothers in this sphere have promoted. I wasn't looking for pump and dump type of situations. I was just looking for solid sisters, somebody that I can invest in for a possible future relationship. So.
Now
That was the motivation.
let me ask you this, because you also have your professional black men out there like yourself.
Hmm.
I definitely know brothers who are lawyers, doctors that
Hmm.
are your habitual bachelors.
Yeah.
So guys, especially in Detroit, because you have so much access to everything.
Yeah.
In a black city, I think if you're a professional in a black city, for me, I think things are much more easier for you.
Hmm.
To meet people, to do things, to get women.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
let me ask you this: did you ever think
Hmm.
that, okay, I'm in Detroit, if I get married at some point,
Hmm.
my productivity that I'm used to doing is gonna decrease because I got to Michigan Tech. Thank you, brother Pookie
Hmm.
Genius. I got to Michigan Tech. I did very well there. I was out there in the
Yeah.
and obviously being in the boonies helps. What up,
Hmm.
brother Julian Brown? Now I'm back in Detroit. The same systems that have worked for me, I want to keep doing it.
Yeah.
Why are you trying to get married? Like, let's think about that. Let's talk about that. Like,
Yeah.
you're already
So
established
one.
yourself
Yeah.
doing it one way. So,
Right. So I've seen so kind of to your point about seeing individual. So it's a black city. A lot is going on. I've seen a lot of examples of and how you mentioned the habitual bachelor, right? I've seen a lot, like even in my family, I have a lot of habitual bachelors. And, it sounds really nice. It sounds all, you know, roses and everything. It sounds all nice, the kind of like the player guy, right? But it didn't seem they didn't seem to be as happy as they were making themselves out to be.
okay.
So they were kind of going around from lady to lady to lady, right? Not really building anything, not really establishing anything, but just always on the hunt for women. So a lot of times their motivations for interactions with women, they only have one thing in mind. And also it took up a lot of the time, um, a lot of their mental space and time, because they're dealing with this one lady on this side and dealing with this other lady on this side and dealing with another one here, and they find out about each other. Drama, right? Drama is another thing that dealing with a lot of women in one area also brought. So I guess I saw multiple things from the dudes who were kind of like those habitual bachelors. I
Mm-hmm.
saw things that I didn't want in my life. One is drama. One, a
Mm-hmm.
lot of my mental space being taken up by being on the hunt 100% of the time. Anytime I see a chick, I'm sniffing after her. And three is that I didn't see them building towards a lot of anything. I saw them building themselves up to be more attractive for women.
Mm-hmm.
And those are just aspects that I really didn't want for my own life. Yeah. Hopefully that
Okay.
answered part of your
Uh,
question.
okay. That did. Let me kind of go into this. And guys, thank you for being here. Make sure you like the video. What up, brother Falcon Plaque? Now,
Hmm.
tell me. I'm trying to think of the best way to ask this. When you
Sure.
were single, okay,
Yeah.
and then when you got married or even started getting close to married or dating. Now, you
Yeah.
met your wife. I'm assuming that she didn't go to Michigan Tech.
Uh,
how'd you meet your wife? Like, was it at church or something? Or
so my wife went to Michigan State,
okay.
and I used to go back and forth to Michigan State because I knew individuals that went to the school. I would at times be invited to kind of speak to the student body, so like certain groups, like certain Christian groups, there on campus. And we
Mm-hmm.
had met very briefly as I was going up there to speak for something, because I was not too long out of college, and they felt as if, like, the ministers there felt as if I can give some perspective, some motivation, kind of from more of a Christian perspective. So I met
Right.
her in passing, nothing crazy, like we didn't really know each other per se. It's just, hey, this is so and so, boom, 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 type of thing, one
Okay.
time, right?
Okay.
And then after that, probably some years later, you get the friend suggestion thing on Facebook for people that
Okay.
have a lot of people that have a lot of similar
Mm-hmm.
friends, right? So I'm like, all right, I'm single. Uh, let's see what's up, type of thing. So I saw that we had a lot of mutual friends. I remember that passing, and then I just kind of slid in the DM saying, "Hey, how's it going? Hey, it looks like we have a lot of similar friends. Like, what do you do in Detroit?" So I just kind of sparked up the conversation. And at this time, I was in North Carolina doing some contract work. and I would
Okay.
go back and forth to Detroit every
Mhm.
month. So yeah, I just sent the DMs and tried to see what's up, and it really started off a conversation, and then
Mhm.
we became friends, and then the story from there.
Okay, so then let me now let me but thank you for that, Andre. Let me ask you this. Actually, let's go to Andre's question. Without being too
hmm
personal, what are the two to five qualities that she has that made you pursue her as a potential wife? Hotep. Let's talk
Sure.
about that. Okay.
Okay, I give a couple. I know one definitely. She was a nurse. Well, she still is a nurse now. She's in SRNA school, but I know that she was I know that nursing occupation kind of has a lot of like caring. Like a lot of times they have to be caring and patient. It draws out a lot of those feminine qualities from women because they have
Hmm.
to use them a lot. Like I was really looking for like a social worker, a teacher, or a nurse. And my mom's a nurse too. So
Hmm.
that was one, is that her occupation really drew out a lot of those feminine qualities. Number two is that she was really family oriented. Like she was always texting family, going to see family, taking care of family. Again, not getting too personal. I want to talk about personal things, but she was really always there for her family members, even at times when they weren't necessarily there for her. So I know she had that, a bit of a caring heart. And two, like she just liked me. Like she like she liked me, right? She don't like, it really wasn't too much more. Like we were friends for about a year before we even got married or even were considering marriage. And we would just like chat, like hang out in like groups. And she just had a really open and warm type of personality. So I think that those probably are the top three that I would look at.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's fast forward into um, the marriage. Did your productivity did it decrease?
No, it didn't. And I know that's why SBM is in the chat probably going wild. No, my productivity did not decrease at all. It actually increased.
Okay.
And maybe probably your next question would be like, why? Like, why do you think? One is that I had already been preparing to be married. So our I had already had certain type of investments in place. I already had a career plan. I already had an occupation. I already knew where I wanted to go in life, and I was looking at kind of bringing that together with the wife. Because one is that I believe that, this is again my personal opinion. I want to have children, and I'm like, I don't want to bring children into the world through someone who I'm not going to be with, where they're not able to have masculine and feminine type of environment, right? A father and a mother, a husband and a wife in that type of environment. So I was already preparing for that.
Mhm.
So that motivation, I guess, to look to getting to that direction had already been preparing me and my productivity to pretty much be there. So, and the motivation to provide an environment for a wife and kids was something that helped me be more productive, if that makes sense.
Oh, okay. Shout out to brother Kenny Conjo. Now let me kind of go to Ramil's talking points.
hmm
And Phil from the African diaspora was also in the chats with you that night.
Yeah.
And he said that Ramil was saying being married makes you because now you have to focus on other people. You don't have the flexibility to do things.
hmm
You can't focus on your work as much. I mean, does he have points when he says something like that?
So my position about it is really, I very much so think it's dependent upon the person. I'm
Okay.
not taking a strong push towards one or the other. I'm not going to say that men who are married are better or men who are not married are worse or better, because I don't believe either are true. I think it's somewhere in the middle, right? And it's very much so dependent upon the person. I think if you were a bum dude and you weren't really doing too much before you got married, you're gonna be that same bum dude not really doing too much after you get married.
Hmm.
And for me personally, I look at it as being a stronger motivator to produce. Right? If I'm bringing family into the world, if I'm providing for a family, I got to step my game up because I'm providing for something beyond myself or greater than
Hmm.
myself. And
Hmm.
this is an example, right? Like I know brothers. a lot of brothers speak about this, have how we have a very low cost of living. Personally, I don't spend a lot of money. Like the first year that I went contracting, I had probably like $25,000 in student loans. I literally paid off $21,000 in the course of 8 to 9 months
Mm-hmm.
because I didn't spend any money because I don't spend any money. So just gathering a whole bunch of money hasn't really been a big motivator for me because I'm getting all this money and then what? Like, what am I going to do from like, okay, I'm getting houses and then what? Like, what is that going to be towards? Then I die and then what happens? Like that just goes and gets dispersed to a lot of different places
Mm-hmm.
that I don't have any. Like I would like for that money and those investments to be in my name and in my family. I want my grandkids and my great grandkids to be talking about the future that their grandfather was able to provide to them in the form of real estate, in the form of education, really being able to lay a foundation for my seed and
Mm-hmm.
my lineage to be great even beyond me being there. That's been a huge motivator for me being more productive rather than less productive.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah.
Let me shout out to Spook Freeman. Nurses, social workers, teachers are usually considered 89 octane level, very wise screen initial selections, long term companions initial screen. Let me go to brother. Cut to the chase. Shit, I was more ambitious when I was single. Now that I'm with my girl, she be taking up a lot of my time and energy. Okay,
I'll go back
this
to
is
being
what I
single
do.
then.
This is what I
Shoot.
do. So okay, let's talk about this.
Hmm.
Did this not happen with you at all? Like, did you,
Not at all. Not
No,
at
it did.
all.
Okay.
No. My ambition increased as I got into my marriage. Absolutely. Absolutely. See,
Mm-hmm.
and maybe that's the thing too, brother. Cut to the chase. Is your woman, or the woman that you with, is she ambitious too?
Mm-hmm.
Right? That's a big question to ask because if she is someone who is requiring a whole bunch of your time and attention, she don't really have anything going on for herself. Maybe that cut into your ability to be ambitious or your ambition. Yeah, I can see it from that perspective. But if you have someone who's also ambitious and working towards something, um, maybe that's your problem there. I'm not sure. But hey, if you want to be more ambitious, go back to being single then.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I
Mm-hmm.
say about it.
Um, Shout out to brother Booker's Rebirth, brother Kamala. Let me let me say this because in this sector, I mean, I'm not necessarily like anti-marriage or anything like that. It's not really like my
Yeah.
thing, but brothers like AM1. A lot of guys are against marriage because women can sue you, divorcing,
Yeah.
um, things like that. It's really kind of a
Sure.
downside to it
I can see that. Yeah.
as at times. Yeah, low return on investment. But you're like one of the guys who is, I would say, out of my subscribers, you're very vocal about, like, I know guys who are married in my chat really don't speak too much on the other side. But for
Right.
you, you're like, anytime you hear something against me, you're kind of really getting at these guys. I mean, you do it in your own way. I mean, you don't do no cursing or
Yeah.
like that, but you kind of think like guys like Ramil, like you're an idiot. Like, what are you talking about?
Absolutely.
uh,
Absolutely.
why do you think that the guys like Ramil are what they are? How they are what they are? Why do they think like this?
I think one of the reasons, and I don't want to take anything away from the current legislation, the current situations that brothers are in, where yeah, the legal system very much so leans towards the women's side, especially as it concerns children, as it concerns divorce. Yeah, those are horrible, and I don't, in no way do I want what I'm saying to be support of that. But I do want to say that I think that Ramil has his perspective, and a lot of brothers have their perspective, and it what it is because of fear, right? I'm not saying they're scared or anything, but I think they fear for the worst case scenario to be their life. Divorce, child support, those are definitely the worst case scenarios. But I think that if there's anything that's valuable in life, there will be risk, right? So yeah, she say I do, I say I do. There is a risk that we could separate, that we can get divorced. But
Mhm.
I don't move, or I'm not stagnant, or I don't stop where I'm at because of fear, because I wouldn't be where I'm at if I stopped because there was a risk in me going in a particular direction, right?
Mhm.
I want a lineage, I want a family, I want a legacy that goes beyond me breathing and living here. In
Mhm.
order to do that, marriage, right? I want a wife, like I'm sorry. I think Ramil was also making a point about surrogacy. You can just have a kid with a chick and just have your own kid. I'm sorry, like what if that kid come out as a girl? I'm not raising no girl. Like I'm not raising no girl child. Like what sense does that make? I think it really goes outside a lot of the what makes sense. So I guess my point is that yes, there is a risk in marriage, and I'm not afraid to take that risk. And there's risk in everything. And I think that a lot of times these brothers have this mentality because they're afraid that the worst case scenario will be their lives. I'm not though. Not at all.
Mhm. 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 Let me let me talk about this because a lot of people think like the because your wife is also like very much of a academic competitor as you
Hmm.
are because talks about the program. A lot of brothers in the black community feel like, well, all right, brother Gabe, well, marriage might be a good option, but a lot of these sisters haven't been raised around,
Yep.
for the majority. Like let me say this: you are an anomaly. Let me just say that, okay? Guys, I say,
Yeah.
Gabe, you are an anomaly. You happen to look up on the right one that's a nurse, anesthesia in school for that for 3 years. But most women are not doing that. All right, most people are not
Sure.
on that level. You're an
Right.
academic to a certain degree, or you're an engineer. So of course
Hmm.
your experience is going to be different because you're kind of an elite guy. What about the
Hmm.
normal guy that's
Yeah.
middle of the pack? He's not going to be able to find somebody like that, especially in the black community. What would you say to him?
Hmm. I think that if brothers come from the perspective that they cannot find a woman like that in the black community, then they won't.
Uh oh.
Right? They won't. If you start off the conversation, if you start off your search for a quality black woman with there aren't any quality black women, you will not find a quality black woman. And a lot of times, a lot of these actions that brothers speak about as it concerns women, I mean, these are ratchet chicks. And listen, again, I'm not taking anything away from that commentary because it exists and it's true. These brothers are right. But that's not the whole story. Not
Mm-hmm.
every single black chick in America is ratchet. They're not. They're not. Just got to keep on looking. Like if it's not working out with one, go to another one. If she's showing care, like come up with a criteria. Come up with some type of vetting process. What do these chicks look like? What are they talking about? Where's her mind at? What is she like? Like vet her and then proceed and then look at how you want to proceed with that particular relationship. But to just rule all women out, like all black women out, I mean, that's you're defeated before you even get in the game. That's what I'll
Mm-hmm.
say to that.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Okay. Brother AM1, don't be misled. Marriage is literally unnecessary. What up, brother McCall? Good to see you.
Man, opinions. We all got them, don't we?
Yeah, 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 yeah.
I mean,
Um, let me talk about going forth. I mean, just because you're relatively also what is a young man? You're like what, mate, no more than 31?
yep, 31.
Okay, all right. Here's the next comment. Gabe, you're a young guy. You're 31.
Hmm.
You're really newly married. Hey, bro, come back and see me in 10 years. Come back and see me at 45. All right, when you
Yeah.
have a child and everything. What would you thank you? Okay, Charles Merchant. Let me. What would you say? Thank you, brother Charles. What would you say to somebody that
Hmm.
mentions that
If somebody that mentions what?
you're a young guy?
Yeah, yeah.
You're newly
Hmm.
married.
Yeah,
You haven't had any children yet.
yeah,
Come back and see me in 10 years. Come back and see me in 15 years.
yeah. I mean, look, again, risk. Who knows what the future holds? I don't
Mhm.
know. I could be divorced. I'm not anticipating it. I'm not working towards that. I'm going to do everything possible in my power in order to avoid that possibility. But that
Mm-hmm.
doesn't mean I'm not going to try to build a successful Black family
Mm-hmm.
because of the possibility of not of it not working out. Think about that. Like if we lived if we lived that particular mentality in
Mm-hmm.
so many different areas of our life, where would we be? I mean, like where would you be, O'Shea, if you didn't take risk on things in life?
Oh man,
Possibly it
nowhere.
not working out, right?
Yeah.
And there have been things that haven't worked out for me in my life. I count that as a learning experience rather than something that I shy away from, right? So if somebody says, hey, see me 10 years from now, hey, I will, and we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. I can't
Mm-hmm.
predict the future. It could work out bad for me. Again, not anticipating it, but I'm not being afraid of it, right? It's
Mm-hmm.
in my face. The negative possibility is in my face. I'm not anticipating it. Hey.
Let me read what Brother Charles Merchant said. Educated women seek divorce at over 80% clip. She takes your legacy dreams and spit on them as soon as you plant your seed inside of her soil.
Yeah.
Spook Freeman, Mr. Charles Merchant, precisely. Let me ask you this, because your what would you say that your marriage takes work?
Yeah, absolutely.
Um, do you think that I mean, because you are you're in the kind of forward thinking. I'm not trying to belittle anybody else, but obviously
Sure.
you have your career and you're
Yeah.
deep into the investments and the money. That's a very very big thing for you. You're building up that network. Let's suppose that the energy that you put into your marriage that you would
Hmm.
invest into that part of
Hmm.
your life. Do you feel that you
Hmm.
would be more financially successful?
Oh man. Hmm. Knowing my personality, um, I think that marriage has actually become like motivated me more because of these impending children that are coming. I
Mhm,
don't I don't know about if I wasn't married, what I actually had a role. So okay, so around the time that I proposed, I had a choice on whether to work for a very large power organization or energy organization
mhm,
and a role that would be in Abu Dhabi. So I would have been in the Middle East probably around the time that I had got married. So if I didn't get married, I was leaning more towards that Middle Eastern role. Um, I don't. It's hard to say. It's hard to say. I think I would have a different experience, but
mhm,
I don't know of any times where my marriage has caused me to be less focused on work,
mhm.
or I've messed up because I had to worry about my wife, or I've misstepped because of something as it concerns my relationship. I can say that that hasn't been my reality. But if I
Mhm.
would have been more successful if I wasn't married, I can't say because I don't know. I'm not exactly sure.
Okay. Okay.
Yep.
Okay. All right. Let me hmm. I don't know any other things to ask, man.
Oh, I will
I
say that there's also some numbers behind that whole
okay.
idea of married men versus single men. There was a there was actually a study conducted by the University of Minnesota and the IPUMS, which stands for like the Integrated Public Use Microdata Series. They're like an organization that takes census data and they do like microdata status, like microdata studies and kind of come up with some conclusions. And I mean, I mean, beyond a shadow of a doubt, this is pretty much the resounding quote is that married men earn higher wages than single or married women and single men. So I
Mhm.
think that this whole idea of being productive, if your idea of productivity is higher earnings and higher wages, um, if that's Ramil's stance about it, the numbers don't lie, right? Yeah, the numbers don't lie. And I think even just kind of like even between me and Ramil, like this isn't pushing the brother down or anything, but I mean, I'm a married man. Me and him are both around the same age. He's a single man, and I mean, I think it's quite obvious that I've been more productive over my life than he has been. So
Okay.
so I know he's making these statements and these claims, but we got numbers combined with two real life situations compared to one another, where I mean, it seems like the numbers are correlated with the reality. So let's not. I mean, that can't be ignored. So
Yeah, I
I'll
think
say
you
that.
said that the other day. Okay, so yeah, I remember. I'm looking for like George Macon. He's on the team Mary side. So I did want to give an opportunity because in this space
Yeah.
we don't really. And to be fair, since the induction of what is known as the Black Manosphere,
Mm-hmm.
at first we didn't even have content for those guys who were professionals, like a Dr. Kenyon Meadows, or
Mm-hmm.
that even came before. And now you're seeing guys who are married, who are happily married, that are also Black men that want
Yeah.
to give their perspective, just like Pookies and Ray Rays have come in over here giving their perspective. And we don't get to hear from guys who are married. We get to hear from guys who
Yeah.
typically are, I was married and now don't get married. But we never
Yeah.
hear from guys saying, "Hey, I'm married and I'm happy with what I'm doing." Dr. Kenyon Meadows is married. Has been married for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
So I
Yeah.
wanted to give balance to the force because it's just not one
Yeah.
type of Black man in this community. So let me just
True.
dollar watch them. Married people get fat, lazy, and healthy. When you're single, you're
Yeah.
productive and more stress free. Oh
Look,
boy.
like, look at the picture of the dude saying that. Like, stop it, dog. Like, come on, man. Come on. I just direct everybody watching to just look at the picture of the dude saying that. Stop it. Stop it. It's so I would like to say that it's not an absolute that every single dude will be more productive than married man. I think that it really is dependent upon the man himself, right? I don't think that any absolute should be placed on either side.
Okay.
That's my whole stance. Yeah. I'm really, this isn't really an attack on the single dudes. Do what you got to do to be as successful and productive as you got to be. But let's not act like married men aren't out here making strides. Married Black men aren't out here making strides and being productive also. That's really my stance.
Got a WhatsApp question from Brother Andre. Did your wife come from a 2-parent home?
Yes, she did.
Yes. Okay. Brother
And that's
Andre.
the thing. Vet it. Look at that. Make that a criteria.
We should do a show on vetting, but
I'm with it.
okay. Yeah, what's your availability this week? I know you're pretty busy. Are you free, or should we look for the weekend?
I should be free towards the evening. I work from home, so it's during the evenings I'm just home.
Okay.
So, in a couple of weeks I know I'm getting back to some of my travel schedule, but right now
you good right now?
Home.
Okay.
Yeah, absolutely.
Let me do this real quick, guys.
It'll be a part 2 or a follow up.
You know what time it is and thank you for being here. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. Gabe wants to wait to promote his channel till he gets some more content up, but we'll be back pretty soon.
Yeah.
Want to thank him. I just don't do the nigga shit. Okay, I want to let you guys know that. That's not just I'm just not known for that. I actually do. Hope I get my really keep it tech. I actually want to do more of the. I am going to do more of the better stuff. This is like the channel I do all the good stuff on, and my other channels where I do the nigga stuff on. And speaking of the nigga stuff, we will be going over there to this channel, O'Shea Vlogcast. We will be talking about the new show, which is the Black Community Only Wants Brothers with Hood Swag. And we're pretty much going to be talking about, like, if you're a smart person, academic, and guess who's leading that off? Xanathos Clutch. So make sure everybody goes, click the link that's in if you're watching live right now, my next show is on my channel called O'Shea Vlogcast right after this. Okay. So all of you can go over there. Gabe, and Andre, they don't participate in those things, but they do like them. So don't Don't think like I'm not gonna get a WhatsApp message from Andre Hatcher talking about fam. So that's my food stamp content. And guys, I actually so I take my food stamp money and we help other brothers come into we clean it up. So we take the nigga stuff and make other stuff better. Okay. So yeah, that's the dope channel. We sell all the drugs over there and we come back on the and we take the drug money and bring it over here to do all the nice stuff. Okay. So I need to make another channel even more ghetto than that. Sly, he's married. Okay. So yeah. Sly's been nice lately though, the last 5 or 6 months, man. He kind of, he got a conscious and stuff. Any last words that we have, brother, that you want to talk about, or what we can expect from some of your content this year, brother? Or
no, just like a resounding idea that I think that brothers can be successful in many areas of life or many social areas. You don't have to be married. I just want to make that clear. You don't have to be married to be productive or anything, but you aren't necessarily less productive once you get married too. So I think that both of those need to be stated. And yeah, I'm kind of trying to produce more and more information, kind of more of the brothers in the IT engineering type of area. Kind of more speaking about that of cybersecurity, right? Because I mean, as we can see, this is more and more of a cyber world, even as it concerns warfare. That's coming up. I mean, there's things that I've seen in the field that would pretty much make a nice little Netflix short series, right, of cyber incidents that's happening, and it's a career field that brothers can really get into and be successful at, and it's really interesting. It's a really interesting area. So that's more of the content that'll be coming out. So as I'm putting more content out there, I'll be working with O'Shea to kind of get it out there. And
yeah, we're gonna get it out there, man. That's what we doing on this channel. People appreciate it, man. So I thank you. We have 413 people watching. So people have emailed me and talked about how they love your insight. Dr. Kenyon Meadows is a big fan. He instantly knew who you were when you were in the chat. Cool. So yeah, so a lot of people appreciate what you do, brother. So I do thank you. What up, brother Mike? Guys, we are going to the Rumble, the show that Super Sly 75 helped make the greatest show on earth. It is now so niggified that he don't even want to be on it sometimes. Yeah. Like it's like, I mean, the guys on there now, man, they make Sly look like a Christian, man. So guys, go follow me to the other channel. The link I was there. Thank you guys for supporting me and the brother Gabe. And we will be doing more shows. Yeah, I think it's balanced, right? We do have brothers out there who are married, brothers who are in the military, brothers who are, that are academics that we don't really know that people exist, and we want to get to know all of those people. So a lot of times we talk to the same people all the time about the same things. We don't really hear the other side of the story. I'm about hearing the other side of the story. Shout out to Tyler T. So we will see you guys over on my next channel. Everybody click the link. Go to O'Shea Vlogcast. If you don't know, if you're listening right now, that's where I'm going to be. Go YouTube search O'Shea Vlogcast. Subscribe, hit the bell. Subscribe to all my channels. Brother Gabe, thank you so much. And we will be starting over with Clutch in just a second. You guys do not want to miss this. Peace out.
All right. See y'all later.
Peace, brother.